We'll go out here and down the backside of this mountain. And we'll check a place or two down there to see if we can find some water. Pretty hard to find a place back out of the way where nobody won't find you, you know. There's a whole lot of damn nosy people around anymore. This is the last damn run of liquor I'm gonna ever make. And I guess them revenue officers will be glad of that, because they won't have to watch me no damn more. They've been watching me all my life.
I interviewed a fella one time, and it was just a kind of a joking kind of interview, but I said, you know that whiskey making is not legal. Why do you do it? And he said, well, Pa always made it. And Pa's pa always made it, and Pa's mama's pa always made it, and said, you know, I guess I'll just make it too.
Whiskey making was rampant around here, but if you came in and you didn't know the community and the people, you wouldn't realize what was going on, and I didn't. I came in as a reporter here in 1949. I had no idea of the whiskey making going on and the bootlegging and all that kind of stuff. It's part of the spirit of the country. I mean, I'm talking about these people who came in, like the Scotch Irish, they were coming in for cheap land. Here they found this great, wonderful country with so many resources and freedom.
Had to watch for damn snakes. This place is full of copperheads and rattlesnakes. I damn sure don't want to get bit by one of them today. That's all I'd need. I hear water running out there. I'll go out there and see what it looks like. And get these damn weeds down. Yeah, me and Daddy made together for 30 years in one place and never was caught. His daddy was a moonshiner too, but Daddy's like myself. He more or less learned it on his own what he knowed about it. Boy, there's plenty of good clean water right there. There ain't nobody lives above this. That's damn cold enough. It'll cool that worm in a hurry. I think right here would be the damn real place to set it. Just dig out right in here and set it right in there. I don't know how damn far we're going to have to go before we find a better place than what I found a while ago. That was an awful good place. That's probably where we'll put it. I went a many of a mile trying to find a place to put one. Only I wasn't riding no A model, I was walking.
I love the characters. People around here, stuff just moves a whole lot slower. They still people up in these hollers that you couldn't tell much difference from if it had been 100 years ago, as far as the way they talk or dress. You know, a lot of them still raise chickens and eat yard eggs and, you know, milk cows and bootlegging. You know, the bootlegger checks your ID. Whose boy are you? That's how they checked mine. I was about 14. Whose boy are you? Bub Higgins. Why, Lord, I knowed him. What you need, son? They don't care. They sure don't check your ID.
One of the sources years ago that people likened to moonshiners was Jed Clampett and, you know, Beverly Hillbilly. And then you see cartoons over the years like Snuffy Smith, and they, you know, Snuffy's obviously a moonshiner, you know. And
the guy that drew Snuffy Smith knew a certain part of our population. And I knew these people intimately. I won't even go far enough to say how intimately I knew some of the stereotypes in Snuffy Smith, but they were close. And so we could read that thing at home and just hee-haw and think it was wonderful.
But the old moonshine cartoon character and the little fellow like we talking about now making moonshine, that's all a thing of the past.
I've laid many of a rock, but I never did lay them where people could see them, you know. I'd rather they didn't see what I'd built. And a little mud. If you use this mountain dirt here, it'll fall out of the rocks when they get hot. But this red clay here, it come out of Tennessee. We went down and got it the other day, and I don't know where it's at around here, but there's plenty of it, about all they are in Tennessee. Old man Abe Silvers, he used to make liquor. He'd come walking down Hemp Hill Road where I was raised at. One time he fell right in front of the house over there in the road. Had a load of liquor on his back in tow sacks. He's drunk and he fell. He busted 2 or 3 jars of his liquor when he fell backwards. You could hear him cuss for 5 miles. I guess so, 'cause back then liquor, I mean, that was your life, you know. If you didn't have none, by God, you'd starve. Well, I tell you what, my granddaddy helped build the first Baptist church was built on Hemp Hill. He made liquor, and he took the liquor and sold it, and then took the money and helped buy the materials it took to build the first Baptist church on Hemp Hill that was ever built. I guess no matter what kind of, how you get your money, I mean, if you put it in the right place, I guess the good Lord probably bless you for it anyway. Whether you got it selling taters or making liquor, don't matter, don't reckon. Up at the store last summer, there's this old woman come in there, and she come out there and pointed that still. She said, "You know you're going to go to hell for making this old liquor?" I said, "Well, I hope I don't. But I said, if I do, I won't need no damn fire, and I'll be sure and save you a seat." I guess that old smoking and drinking knows what killed my granddaddy. He lived to be 90 years old. What a way to go.
you know, for years and years, for decade after decade, there was no change in the public's attitude toward whiskey making. I mean, everybody did it.
You know, if you go all the way back to, I remember reading Harriet Arno's, she's got a marvelous book about what it was like before whiskey was taxed, when people did have a still on the porch or behind the house. At that time, there was no stigma attached to it at all, and people made moonshine just as they would grow any other crop. And then the taxis came and it receded and it had to hide.
If it wasn't for moonshine liquor back in these mountains, especially a long time ago, they didn't have no medicine like they got now. Drugs for every purpose, you know. Now anything's wrong with you, they got a pill for it. But back then, whether it was cough syrup or stomach medicine or headache medicine, whatever they made, liquor was the main ingredient. And if they didn't have it, well, hell, I guess some people would have died. There's the ice outside.
Yeah, in the machine he's getting.
Oh, we'll see you later on, maybe.
Okay.
That's old tin, they don't make it like that anymore. Yep, they don't make it like that anymore. I'm gonna put the stovepipe up there. The old timers, they didn't have such thing as stovepipe, but I'm lucky I have. You see, old timers, they used to just build a furnace and leave a little hole in the back and let the smoke go anywhere it wants to. The reason I've got this pipe on there is so that smoke won't come back in my eyes all day while I'm running this thing. That's one of my inventions. That's the prettiest rock I ever laid on a steel furnace. I mean, that's a beautiful rock. It's a shame to put that in a steel furnace. It should be in some big fine home somewhere. Hell yeah, I've been in jail. In August 1974. I went in there that morning to run my little old pot. I was reaching up to feel the cap like that to see if it was hot, see if the steam was coming up on it. About that time, a gun stuck in my back. Halt, he said. That's what's the problem. Because you see, there ain't a thing here that I didn't pay for. I didn't steal a damn piece of nothing that's here. Paid taxes on the copper, paid taxes on the sugar, on the jars. I didn't steal nothing, so I don't think I broke the law anywhere. Back, I guess about 15 years ago, was when they changed the law. They dropped it from a felony charge to a misdemeanor charge. But back a long time ago, like the 50s and 60s and 70s right in there, if they caught you with just a cap off of one, you didn't have to have the whole still. If you just had any part of it, the cap or the worm or whatever, pot, and damned if they wouldn't give you time for just having that one piece of stuff.
Over the years, as a newspaper man, I've covered a number of moonshine busts, as they call them. So I've lain on liquor stills, as they call it, waiting for the operator to come in to, you know, crank up the still. And of course, they'd pounce on him and take him to jail. And let me give you a quick little lesson on how to take a picture of a moonshine still being demolished. You don't shoot the picture at the instant the dynamite goes off. If you did, all you get is a little dust rising up in the dirt, you know. But if you'll count 1, 2, 3, and then shoot your picture, the still's 40 feet in the air going that way. Everything, dirt, trees, still, and everything. So you shoot it at the thousandths of a second and then dive under a pickup truck, because all that rock and trees and everything's coming back down, you know. The gravity's going to bring them back to you.
That's some real mud though, that's thick. That sets up, you can't knock this down. Decent liquor's gone. You take making liquor on these old sheet metal stills, hell, that likely killed somebody. I wouldn't do no such a thing as that. In the next 5 years, there won't be no more moonshine liquor. Be a thing of the past. And I'll be dead before then anyway, so it don't matter. My mom used to have every time that they'd come up there to play music at the house, them guys, they'd always bring a jar of liquor with them. Make music all night long, banjo, guitar, fiddles, all night long. She'd get her a little pint jar and she'd go around and ask them if they'd give her some of that liquor to make medicine out of it. And of course they would. See, it boils in there, and then it boils in here again. That way it gets distilled 2 times on one run. And the purpose of this stump keg is to catch any water that might boil up out of your mash, or fusel oil, or anything like that you don't want to go on over in your liquor. It catches it in this keg, and then the steam comes up, hits this and travels again over that worm sitting in that barrel of cold water. And when it hits that cold water, it turns into a liquid, comes out down at the bottom, 180 proof. Now the purpose of this is to keep your cap from blowing off. Because there's a lot of pressure built up in that little thing. And if you ain't got that rocket laying on there, it'd put it up on top of them damn trees.
The image of the moonshiner was created primarily by magazines like Esquire magazine and the New Yorker, who were notorious back in the 20s of doing the caricature of the moonshiner, who was the guy with the poke hat, you know, and the long beard. and looked a little demented, and he was barefooted and had a jug with X's on it. And of course, what always went with it that always upset me was the implication that it was what worthless people did who were incapable of doing an honest day's work.
It's the hardest work you ever done in making liquor is. I mean, there's a chance you take the damn thing and blow it up and scalding you, and I don't care how long you've been a fooling with it, you can't predict from one time to another what it's going to do. Like, it's supposed to make 6 gallons to a barrel is what it's supposed to do. Well, I've seen it make 7 gallons to a barrel. Then I've seen it, you fire it up and all you get is blue water. It's just something you gamble with, big time gamble. You don't know what you're going to get from one time to the next.
It's been heavily romanticized recently. And I know in the 70s there was a tremendous amount of suddenly very positive images of moonshine. You remember Joan Baez did that Copper Kettle. The whole idea of laying out there in the moonlight and watching them jugs a filling, you know, in the pale moonlight. That's a very romantic image of it that belies how difficult it was.
Well, there's the mash. It's been working now for 7 or 8 days. Today's a big day. We're going to crank this son of a bitch up. JB, taste it and see if it's bitter. If it's bitter, that's a sign it's going to make some good liquor, and right smart of it.
It's bitter. Pretty good though.
You can see them grains of corn in that mash. It's made out of yellow sweet corn, and all's in this is yellow sweet corn, yellow corn malt, and sugar, and water. That's all in it. This is what I'd call a piss pot. It don't hold but 50 gallons. If you go make liquor, ain't used playing with it. The last one I ever helped run, helped 20 barrels. 20 times what that can hold. Oh, it's gonna be a hot job here today.
Gonna be another hot day at the office, ain't it?
That wood in there is locust wood now. You talk about something get it hot, that's dead locust. It don't put off a lot of smoke, see? When you're making liquor out in the woods like this, you want to keep the smoke down as much as you can. Some nosy son of a bitch will see it and call the law on you. I've had my picture down the front page 2 times for this. 1974, 1998. My smokestacks are sucking that smoke out pretty good, ain't it?
Oh yeah. Working perfect.
I'm trimming this worm up a little. I just sawed it off, and it's got little frizzes of copper on it. And I don't want that shit to get in my liquor. Me and Lethe made something like this one time at the river. On that little old pot she had to tell 35 gallons. This in your holds 50. And we tempered it with water. Of course, you don't make much liquor when you temper it with water because it takes the proof down real fast. And if you use backings, you come out making more liquor. But we're going to make it like it did 100 years ago, like my granddaddy made it. Be tempered with water. What little liquor comes off of this, right people would pay you $100 a gallon for it. Sure would.
I use half and half of wheat bran and half flour. We ain't got soldered. And sometimes you'll get a leak in your thump keg and you'll have to patch it with this and it'll keep all the steam in. But you don't want to lose none of that steam because that's liquor. Yeah, this is the best because it's easier to put on and then it just gets hard. I don't think they've got anything on the market to do the job.
Oh, she's ready to put the cap on. See the steam coming out of it? That's liquor I'm losing. Hell yeah, we don't lose no liquor. As Bubba says, I'm gonna make some wiki today. I'll probably spill some of it, I don't care. The backings is the last thing that comes off when you make run liquor. This is some, it's been hid since 1997 when I quit making liquor. They caught me in 98, so I quit. It's been so long since I made any on wood, I tell you what, I hope I don't mess up because that fire is hard to regulate. Get too hot, it'll boil like beer fire and it'll come plumb over in that cap down here. That's what you call puking. And it'll run your liquor because your liquor will come out of there looking like what they make on Cosby. It looks like that buttermilk.
How does it get from raw corn to that clear, almost blue liquid that comes out in that jar? That is a complex process. And I think people are rightfully proud of forefathers who made liquor. They understood the technology, and of course there was a tremendous pride in making a good liquor.
The idea is to extract the alcohol out of the water. And start off with just a common pot still, and that would come out what they would call that singlings. And then you'd have to get 8 runs of singlings to put back through the still to get a doubling. A doubling run was a big event in the community because then you had about 120 proof whiskey. And of course you could cut that down with water or whatever so you had a lot of really quite good whiskey, high proof. I mean, if you could get it down to 80 proof, it'd still be very strong. But later you had the development of the doubler, or what they call the thump keg. And so you had a doubling situation. And so whereas before you had to go through that laborious 8 stillfuls of singling, here you got doubling whiskey in one run, you see.
This stump post is cut out like that in the bottom, that V-shape cut out. So when that steam comes down, it can escape out in there and come back up in this keg. And then it comes over and hits this worm. And when it gets in that barrel of cold water over there, it turns back into a liquid and comes out the bottom. 180 proof. Now put it down there. Whoa, hold it, hold it. Now. Well, now, JB, you can start laying the paste to the cap and hand me a little over here and I'll start over here. You've done a good job on that paste.
Yeah, I mixed a few rounds of it.
You have to push this paste at every connection. You gotta make paste out of bran and flour, or you can grind up rye and make paste out of it, or you can make paste out of oatmeal. I ain't never made a perfect run in my life if something doesn't go wrong. I mean, something will go wrong every run you make. I guarantee something will happen today, and I hope not nothing major like blow a cap or something, but I gotta hurry up and get some paste on this because I don't get it on there pretty quick, it'll not stick. Listen to that. You hear it?
Yep. Yeah, I hear it.
And once it starts running, you have to always keep on the lookout for leaks, because it'll leak somewhere. I don't know where, but it will.
I hear it thumping.
Is it? I can't half hear. Oh yeah, I had to do a thump gag waltz. Lisa used to dance by the thump gag, by the racket it makes she keep time with it. Yeah, she called it the thump gag waltz. Yeah, she'd drink her about 2 of them Vine or sausage cans full right straight off that worm. She's tough. Then she'd start doing the thump gag waltz. She'd hit every lick that did. She starts off thumping real slow, she'd go. Then she'd keep getting faster. You ought to seen her, it's something else.
We got liquid coming out.
I never saw one in operation in the woods, never did. The ones I saw were outside the Jackson County Courthouse, stacked up against the wall. And the sheriff standing in front having his picture made, you know, to let you know he's on the job. Then after that, I didn't see them for years until they started showing up in museums. They started showing up at Mountain Heritage Day, and they started showing up in places where they were celebrating mountain history.
I'm gonna let you get that bottle half full. Get the new out of the worm. Watch out, I got it now. The first jug of liquor I run on these new fire coals, it's gonna be a little dingy colored, but that's nothing to be alarmed about. It'll clear up on the next one. See that liquor come out that stick, so it'll follow that stick. I'll tell you what, if there's any damn buzzards comes over here today, they better fly high. If they don't, they'll knock the top of them damn trees and they get a sniff of this. Yeah, they better fly high.
They had been looked down upon by the greater community. I mean, this constant barrage of the federal agents coming in and and raiding their stills. And also they staged a propaganda campaign which perhaps was just about as effective because it sort of cut back on the marketing, the market for the whiskey. The ATF, they started a big propaganda campaign against corn whiskey to stop it from the people from purchasing it because they'd say it's poisonous and all this stuff. Whiskey is poisonous itself. If you drink enough 100 proof whiskey over time, your liver's going to be fried.
If you say, well, whiskey is, you shouldn't drink whiskey. That's some people's opinion. Other people drink whiskey every afternoon, when they get off work, or at social gatherings or whatever, to go by a pub at night and drink whiskey. So what are we doing? Are we condemning one fellow over here because he did a certain thing, but we go, it's just hard to figure.
Yeah, I've made all kinds of liquor in my time. I've made the fighting kind, the loving kind, the crying kind. I even made some one time and sold it to this couple. They was happily married. The next damn week they was divorced.
What kind are you making today?
This I'm gonna make today, got 4 damn fights to a pint. That's pretty good.
What'd you say you wanted, son? Say you want your mama. What do you want of your mama, son? A drink of water. Why, I declare.
They would very regularly, find the stills and dynamite, confiscate the whiskey and pour it down the drain at the county seat, and so all the photographers could get pictures of them pouring the whiskey down the street drain, And of course, they were going to get re-elected after that, of course.
You want what? A drink of water? What do you want? A Pepsi-Cola? Son, there ain't no Pepsi-Colas here. They've all been drank up.
Uh-oh, bring me some paste, JB. Got a bad leak. You might have to get me a rag, JB. You're going to a strip. I'll have to resorter that. Hauling it up here and jolting it around, I'd cause it a leak in them. You know, as little as this thing is, if that cap was to come off, it's scalded you to death. I need another string. Go in there under the bed and cut me off a piece of that gray string.
How about this?
That'll work. Believe it or not, I learned this trick right here off that Snuffy Smith. If you've ever noticed a Snuffy Smith thing in the newspaper, you'll see it. He tied rags on his and here and yonder to keep them from leaking. I don't care if it's leaking. I ain't gonna use it no damn more no way. Now this is the first that JB's ever helped me make on wood. This is his first time at this. But a long time ago when he helped me, he'd never seen a still run. And when we quit, he was a damn good hand at it. He caught on to everything I done, everything I said.
I learned from the best.
I'd run mine to save up my first jar of alcohol, and I'd mix the rest of it till it come pretty well up proof, and I'd save that alcohol before I bring it up to proof. I've got a good proof at the house. I started to bring it with me. I didn't.
I've got one too. I got it with me. I don't need it. I've put it so long I can do it anyway.
It's got to have a frog guy here and yonder. Watch.
Watch this liquor burn. Number 5. Oh, I ain't checked this one.
Down the road here from me, there's an old holler tree where you lay down $1 or 2. Then you go round the bend. When you come back again, there's a jug of that old Mountain Dew. Oh, they call it that old Mountain Dew.
I wish they still made them little top cans. Them rings on them big ones.
I hooked up my mug, if you feel my jug with that good old Mountain Dew. Well, my Uncle Mort, he's sawed off and short, measures about 4'2". But he thinks he's a giant when he gets him a pint on that good old Mountain Dew. They call it that old Mountain Dew, and them that refuse it are few. Push up my mug if you feel my jug with that good old Mountain Dew.
Damn, I believe that's where I have 5 fight stuff pint instead of 4. Well, the more than I took of that, it went to my head just flying. Ah, my. Oh, that's number 10. As you go backwards, that means it's higher. Like if you not got number 10 jar here, number 9's higher than it was. Number 8's higher than 9 was, all the way back, see. Well, if they come up like that, big beads, and go away real, real fast, that means the higher the proof. The faster they go away and the bigger they are. That's a good 180, I'll guarantee you that.
Yeah, it's got water beads in it.
Yeah. I don't know if one man can temper liquor as good as I can or better, and that'd be Floyd Sutton.
Yeah. It's 170 or better. Yeah, I can take a tub full, get it down there right, and I can take a teacup full of water and kill it. So when you're approving water, you've got to be careful. It just sort of like Braille cream, a little dab will do it. Rawhide firing, and he got to show me how to do it.
John Hardy stood in that old jail cell, the tears running down from his eyes. He sat me in the depths of a mini poor boy, but for 6 years never told a lie, no 6 years never told a lie.
Oh, I'm just stirring it here, trying to get down to around 100 proof.
Everywhere else.
Where's your place at, Popcorn?
Find ghost town up there, Maggie.
Yeah.
Go right past you, but I quit.
The beads is holding around there.
Let me stick my head down there a minute.
Don't get too far down in there, you can't get out.
See, when you temper it together like that, it smells better and gets better, don't it? Than it would just like the hot shot. Getting anywhere, Floyd?
I think the law always had an ambiguous relationship with bootlegging because it was a fact and they had to live with that. And there were still people making liquor in this region who made no attempt to sell it locally. It stopped being essentially a product for the people that lived in the area. You took it to Atlanta, you took it to Knoxville. That's a new folk hero, Junior Johnson and the guy with the bootlegger turn. Hit the brakes, cut the wheel, turn around and reverse yourself totally and go back and meet the people that were pursuing you, past them and go on down the road. I had friends who were constantly demonstrating that they could do the bootlegger turn. Terrifying.
Always when I haul a load of liquor, a good time to haul it when it was raining. I was hoping it'd rain like hell when I got ready to take off with the load, because the law's not too apt to stop you and it'll pour in the rain down. And when you've got a load of liquor going down the road, you're not going to be running 80 miles an hour, not like they did back in the 40s and 50s when they outrun the law. You can outrun them radios and got so many cars they'll get you.
Be ready to go to market.
The slower you run it, the better product your liquor comes out. Now that's coming out not as big as a match stem right now. The fires are going down, but you're not supposed to run it on a small pot like that, no bigger than a match stem. Because if you run it faster, it makes your liquor meaner the faster you run it. Makes it fire, it'll burn the hell out of you. But this right here is going to be second to none, because nobody will never do this again. This is the last time I'm going to ever do it. But if I was going to make any more liquor, I'd make me one to hold at least 1,000 gallons. Yeah, I'll always remember this place. I'm going to put roofing on it if I never do come back to it. Just to be doing it. I'd hate to see something happen to it. I'll probably never be back up here about one more time after this. I guess we've ended our liquor making career today, or when the run's over with tomorrow.
You said this is your last one, so that's
it, by God.
This is the last of the Mohegans right
That's
here.
it.
So what are you going to do? I think. What are you going to do when the creek goes down, I think?
I got it. I come out here. Easy enough, didn't it?
Yeah.
Now get back down where you can get it. Hit the pot.
Come here.
Just throw them way up under.
That Tennessee clay is rough stuff, ain't it?
Hell yeah. Piece of tin and catch it. Well, I hate to pour this good stuff out, but I don't need it no more. Look at that corn down the bottom of it, see it? Them damn wildlife will get drunk now, by God. Boing.
There's not much moonshine being made anymore. Not by the little fella out on the creek bank like there once was. There used to be a lot of little individual people making whiskey, but that's all a thing of the past.
If I can get in the groove, I gotta be all right.